Ever get that feeling? Like you're just weighed down. And I don't mean like physically.
More like mentally and emotionally.
Exactly. All that baggage we carry. The thoughts, the emotions, past stuff we just can't seem to shake.
It's like we're clinging to things that aren't doing us any favors.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, the power of letting go.
And how releasing all that can actually lead to some serious inner freedom.
Our guide for this deep dive, The Untethered Soul.
By Michael A. Singer.
Yep. Now, what I found fascinating about Singer's approach is he uses this metaphor. It's like a house with all the windows open.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So our thoughts and emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like the weather. Sometimes it's stormy, sometimes it's calm. But at the house, it just stays put.
So we suffer when we're trying to control the weather instead of just observing it from the safety of our house.
Boom. You got it. So instead of getting swept away by every little emotional storm.
We should aim to be more like the house itself. Solid, unmoved.
Exactly. Now, Sear talks about this deeper self, a part of us that isn't defined by all those fleeting thoughts and emotions.
He calls it the conscious witness.
Right. And by becoming aware of this inner space, we can kind of create some distance.
Between our true selves and all that mental clutter.
Which, let's be honest, can really drag us down. Okay, so how do we actually do that? It sounds great in theory, but it's tough.
Oh, I know. It's easy to say, just observe your thoughts, but they're like constant.
Like a bombardment.
Exactly. It takes practice. Singer suggests a technique. Simply notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Don't analyze, engage, or push them away.
Just let them be.
Yeah, like clouds drifting by.
This reminds me of a part in the book where Singer compares holding on to anger to drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Powerful, right?
So true. It shows how clinging to negativity only hurts us.
And this applies to any attachment. Anger, regrets, anxieties about the future.
Even those positive experiences we try to hold on to so tightly.
Yeah.
So if we're always clinging, good or bad, how's that stopping us from experiencing true inner freedom?
Think of it like this. Every time we grasp, we're creating a tether, a limitation.
Whether it's possessions, relationships, even our own identities.
We get bound to a limited sense of self.
But freedom, the kind Singer's talking about, comes from loosening those grips.
Allowing ourselves to flow.
With all of life's experiences. That reminds me of another point about suffering. Singer says a lot of it comes from resisting the natural flow of life.
Trying to control what we can't.
Yeah. It's like we're constantly fighting the current.
Letting go isn't about being passive, though.
Right? It's about wisdom, acceptance.
A wiser relationship with the ever-changing nature of reality.
So for our listeners out there, think about what you're holding on to right now. What could you let go of?
That grudge you've been carrying.
A past mistake that keeps haunting you.
That fear that's been holding you back.
Maybe even an expectation that's just not panning out.
And don't judge yourself. Whatever comes up, acknowledge it. Ask yourself, is holding on to this helping me?
Or could letting go open up something new? Because letting go isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey.
And every time we release something that's not serving us, we make space for peace, joy, and true inner freedom.
Now here's something to ponder. Singer says true freedom comes from letting go of even the idea of letting go. Think about that for a second. What does that even mean?
What does it look like to constantly surrender?
To just allow life to unfold.
See if you can notice those moments where you're clinging this week.
And gently, with compassion for yourself, practice the art of letting go.
You might be surprised what you discover.
You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel.